Justice with Judge Mablean will be life, because in everything we do, it involves the law.
You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good, this one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Marissa Telford is suing Kaylee Richards in the amount of $900. Ms. Telford claims Ms. Richards falsely accused her of stealing a car, and she believes the defendant should pay her attorney's fees. Ms. Richards claims the plaintiff deserves everything she went through.
Thank you, Will. You may be seated. In the matter of Marissa Telford versus Kaylee Richards, I understand the two of you were friends. I don't know if you're still friends, but Ms. Telford, you want her to reimburse you for $900, and because she had you arrested for allegedly stealing her car, and you saying, no, I'm not going to do that, and you have a counterclaim for $348.50 against her, Ms. Richards. So I'm going to start with you on your claim first, Ms. Telford. Tell me about it.
Well, we were roommates in college. We studied in classes together, had the same group of friends, and I don't have a car. I don't have a lot of money, and she, when we were friends, was really cool about letting me use her car, and I would use it all the time. Of course, sometimes I didn't ask. She wasn't always there, and it never had been a problem before. And then, you know, one night, I decided to go hang out with some friends. She was in class, took her car. I was speeding a little bit and got pulled over, and the police officer, I found out later, had the car had been reported stolen. So that was the news to me. We tried to call her. She didn't answer her phone. I explained to them that this was my friend's car. They took me to jail. It was horrible. I mean, I've never been in jail. I've never done anything wrong before. And I was scared. I got a bail bondsman and hired a lawyer, and after I found out that she had reported this car stolen falsely, I mean, I didn't steal her car, then...
Yeah, you did. You stole my car.
I'm going to let you tell me. Now, I know that there's a backstory on this. She didn't just all of a sudden decide to to report her car stolen if she was letting you use it all the time. What happened this time?
She would ask to borrow my car, and so I would lend it to her. But this time she didn't ask, because she was out sleeping with my boyfriend with my car, and...
Didn't I tell you it was a story?
So...
I knew it wasn't all that innocent.
She stole my car, hooked up with my boyfriend, and now is trying to sue me because she got arrested for stealing my car.
So you're telling me that the night in question, when she left with your car, it was to go out to meet your boyfriend?
No.
Is that what you're saying, Miss Richards?
That's what I was under the impression of.
So how did you know who had your car?
Our friend told us that, she said, like, hey, like, Marissa's, you know, hooking up with Joe.
Okay, when did she tell you that Miss Telford was hooking up with Joe?
That afternoon.
Oh, so someone told you that the plaintiff planned to hook up with Joe later?
Yeah, and she'd been hooking up with him.
Oh,
I
you didn't
hooked
know
up
that?
with him once. She
Hold
found
on a
out.
second, and you didn't know that?
No.
When did you find out your car was missing?
Right after that, I realized my car was gone.
Where were you?
I was at class, and I walked to class, and then I came back home. I needed groceries, and needed to go to the grocery store, and my car was gone. And I tried calling her, and there was no response. And we leave our door open.
Hold on, I didn't interrupt you.
We leave our door open all the time. Someone could have walked in and, you know, taken my keys and taken the car. It may not have just been her. She usually asks, and she didn't ask.
You called her and she didn't answer the phone?
Nope.
Did you have an extra set of keys? Did she have a key, or how'd you do that?
I leave my car keys on the key rack in the hallway.
Apartment?
Yeah.
Oh, and she was free to use it?
No. And if she asked, yes, but she didn't ask.
What'd you say?
It has never been like that before. I've used it several times without asking. She's never sat me down.
You said that was always the arrangement.
We
that you were free to use it without asking.
down and said, oh, you have to ask me every time. Of course I've asked her before, but
Do you
not every
always
time.
ask
No,
before you take the car?
Not. I do not.
So you said she's hooking up with your boyfriend, is that right?
Yeah, so this guy...
Why are you hooking up with her? This is your friend. You've been friends since high school.
I hooked up with him first.
Uh-huh.
She started dating him, and then at a party I made a mistake.
Wait. You were with him first.
Yes.
No, she hooked up with him at a party. And then she was like, oh, I didn't want to. I didn't mean to.
No. She said she was dating him or with him or hooked up with him first. However you want to call it. Hooked up, dating, whatever. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, at a party a few months ago, and then afterwards I found out they started dating, and then I did hook up with him one more time at another party, and it was a mistake.
So the two of you all just keep swapping the same guy? Is he the only fish in the sea?
Apparently.
What is that all about? When you were with him, did she know that you had slept with him?
No.
You didn't tell your friend?
I didn't tell her.
Oh, so then you met him later at a party or something?
Yeah,
and the two of
and
you,
then we started dating after
and you
a
told
while.
her about dating him. And at that time, did you ever say, oh, well, I used to date him and I hooked up with him?
No, I didn't think it
You
was
kept that a secret?
important. Yeah.
But you were upset that she was now dating him and you weren't.
I mean, I really wasn't that upset.
Okay. So then how did it come about that you were out with him or started dating him again?
We were at a mutual friend's going away party, and we were drinking. One thing led to another, and
Ooh, I love that
and
drinking
then
one
she
thing
slept
led
with
to
my
another. You all don't
boyfriend.
think when you're drinking, huh? So that phrase, one thing led to another, means, and then I slept with him?
yes.
Okay, just say it. I know one thing led to another. That's what you did.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
Now you call the police.
And she didn't ask. She stole the car.
And later,
So I told him that I really didn't need his services if he was going to feel that way, and I can hire someone else to do the job. And that is exactly what I did. He stormed out and left.
Justice with Judge Mablean. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Marissa Telford, who is suing Kaylee Richards for attorney's fees.
But you knew at that time that he was dating your girlfriend.
Yep.
I
Right?
did, and it was a mistake. I'm not proud of that moment, but I didn't.
But you didn't think
I
she
didn't
was
send
mad
her
at
to
you, right?
jail. Huh?
Did you go tell her that?
I did not tell her. She did
But the
find
word
out.
got back to her.
Yes.
So now she thinks you a backstabber. Right?
Yes, she is.
And so since you were angry, now you call the police.
And she didn't ask. She stole the car.
That's not
The
stealing.
definition of stealing is taking something without permission, and she did not ask me permission to take
And
my
the
car.
definition of taking something without permission, permission can both be implied and can also be specific. And you can imply one has permission based upon past experiences and past acts in the past manner in which you did things, or it can be direct and definite. I can imply that she had permission.
I never told her that she could take my car whenever
Okay,
she
so
wanted.
why, when you went to jail, when she got arrested, went to court, went to jail, was the case dismissed?
Because she's my friend, and I wanted to, she's my ride or die, and I wanted to, sort of mend things. She stole my car.
No, she did not, and you knew that. And when she got arrested, it's like, oh my goodness, I've taken this too far. Don't play with the law because you're angry over some guy and to get even with somebody over a guy. Don't play with the law, and don't lose your best friend behind some guy. You made a false report and you cost her $900, and I'm going to order you to pay half of it back. Because here's why half. Because you should have asked, but you had a relationship where you could do this. So you got to pay for what you did. The stupid mistake you made, you're going to pay for what you did.
But what about the
$450.
cost to get my car
Hold on a second,
impounded?
I haven't gotten there yet. Now, what is your claim about?
So after she got arrested in my car because she stole it, I had to pay to get it out of impoundment. And so I paid $348.50 to get it out of impoundment.
Now, the $348.50 for the cost of impound, I'm going to order that you all split that too. Half and half.
She stole the car. She took it without
Girl,
my
get
permission.
out of my courtroom and shut your mouth.
Judge Mablean has ruled. The plaintiff is ordered to pay $174.25, and the defendant is ordered to pay $450.
You took my car without my permission, and you took my boyfriend. That's stealing.
I didn't steal your car, I borrowed it.
Coming up,
So I told him that I really didn't need his services if he was going to feel that way, and I can hire someone else to do the job. And that is exactly what I did. He stormed out and left.
Justice with Judge Mablean.
If you're searching for something to finally relieve your pain, Icy Hot Lidocaine.
Desensitizes aggravated nerves with the max strength lidocaine available.
Icy Hot Lidocaine.
You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Janet Ramos is suing her brother, Lenny Ramos, in the amount of $1,700. Ms. Ramos claims her brother failed to finish a plumbing project that left her stranded. Mr. Ramos claims he had to leave to take care of another client, but when he offered to come back and finish the job, his sister had already hired another plumber.
In the matter of Janet Ramos versus Lenny Ramos, I take it that you two are related.
Yes, we are.
You're suing him for $1,700. That's your big brother?
Yes, it is.
And you say for a botched up plumbing job.
That is true.
Wow. You guys couldn't resolve this.
No.
Okay, let me help you. Let's
All
go.
right. Well, what had happened is on December 5th, he came over to my house at 8:30 in the morning. He was supposed to be there at 9:30. When he got
So
there...
you're complaining that he came too early?
Yeah, my husband needed a little bit of sleep, and he thought he got there a little early, so he was complaining, but not
So that's
for me
your
to-
first strike. You got there too early. Okay, go
The
on.
second thing is when he got there, he had asked me for $1,700 for parts and labor, which I wrote him a check, and we discussed on a price, and that was fine.
$1,700 for parts and labor.
Parts and labor, yes.
So had you discussed what work was required?
Yes, we had a kitchen faucet that needed to be replaced along with the kitchen sink, and the toilet had a small leak along with the toilet knob that needed to be fixed.
The
where you flush
toilet had a small leak.
Yes.
Had it been determined yet what was the cause of the leak?
No,
And the toilet handle had to be replaced.
that is correct.
In one bathroom?
Yes.
Same bathroom?
Yes, yes,
All right. And he gave you a quote of $1,700 for
He did.
parts and labor?
yes,
Did he come and look at it before he gave you the quote?
yes.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so at that point, he went to the store, he got his parts, he came back, and he asked me for a beer. A beer at 9:30 in the morning, I thought that was a little odd. He was already in a bad mood, and he
Don't
wanted
you
a
know
beer.
your brother?
I know him very well.
So you thought it was odd for him to ask for a beer at 9:30?
Yeah, he needed to be calmed down, I guess, because he was in a really foul mood. When he got there, he asked me, he said, again? You did this to your kitchen sink again? You know, and he was kind of being a little mean to me.
How many times had he repaired that kitchen sink of yours?
Once before, yes.
And how long before this time?
It's been about 6 months.
6 months you had to repair it again?
Yes.
Oh, what was wrong with the kitchen sink?
Well, the
Oh,
drain
the
doesn't
faucet.
work. Yeah.
And
the
what
faucet.
else?
And the drain. It won't drain.
Okay. All right, so he was fussing at you, saying you've done it again.
Yeah.
All
stole
right.
me, yes, and that was fine. I handed him his beer, and he drank it. And I left him alone. But I did come back to check on him quite a bit, and I asked him. I said, "Can I get you anything? Is there anything you need?" Just being hospitable to him. He thought I was micromanaging him. And so he told me to leave, and I did. And I went into the other room and watched TV and left him to do his job. He came out, and he was going to go to the toilet to fix that part because he didn't quite finish the sink yet in the kitchen either. He didn't finish that. Parts were still left there, but he moved on to the toilet. And he got a little mad at me, and he said to me, you know, I should be overcharging you for this. This is more work.
I should be overcharging,
Yeah,
or I should charge you more?
charge you more for what
Okay.
you've been doing. This would cost a lot more had you hire somebody else, and I think that you're screwing me over like you screw most of your clients over. I thought that was a little rude, so I told him that I really didn't need his services if he was going to feel that way, and I can hire someone else to do the job. And that is exactly what I did. He stormed out and left.
Coming up,
Your Honor, I fixed the sink and I
No.
was going to fix the toilet and I ran out of time.
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Janet Ramos, who is suing her brother Lenny Ramos for $1,700.
So why are we here?
Well, he had promised to finish the job. But since he left and he took off and didn't finish it, I had to pay someone else. I don't feel like I have to pay two people. $1,460 to one plumber and $1,700 to him, which he already cashed, parts and labor. I mean, I feel I should get my money back.
You told him you didn't need the services. Go on, Mr. Ramos.
Your Honor, I had told her that we had a set time to get this job done. I had another job that I had to get to at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was going to take me about an hour to get to that other job. So I had estimated, based on what she had told me, that it was going to take about 4 hours to do.
All right.
So I went and got the parts that I needed for the job. When I came back, right away she started harping on me about, what are you doing? Where were you? She already knew where I was. As a matter of fact, I even called her while I was at the store, letting her know what I was buying.
Well, why? Did you take a long time to go get parts?
It took me about an hour.
To go get parts?
Well, I was looking for the parts that I needed. There were a lot of fittings and piping that I needed to get, because once I looked at the job, it was a lot more than just a sink that was clogged up. The garbage disposal wasn't working, and then the piping under the sink was bad, and that needed to be replaced.
And so that's an hour of your time lost. Go on.
Right. She didn't need to hire another plumber.
Okay.
I had told her that, again, I needed to get the job done within 4 hours. I had another job to go to at noon, to be there at 1 o'clock. And when I left, I told her, I'll come back and I'll finish the job. And that wasn't good enough for her. She just took it upon herself to get the job done.
You going to come back that day?
I was planning on coming that day, and I called her because we hadn't really set on a time. So I kept on calling her.
So did your brother tell you that he'd come back and finish it?
He mentioned that he would get a hold of me sometime, but he didn't say when or how. And I'm an executive, so I get many calls that get forwarded to my cell phone, but I don't check all of them.
Your Honor, I fixed the sink, and I was going to fix the toilet, and I ran out of time. And I did tell her that I would have come back to fix the job if she would have just let me do it.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
Okay, here's the law. When you ask someone to do something for you, you hire a plumber or a roofer or anybody like that, you have to give them the opportunity to complete the work for which you employed them and paid them. If you have paid them, a contractor, and he has not finished the work, you have to give them notice and say, you need to get back here and finish your work. And you have to give them a reasonable time to get back there and finish the work. Then, if it's not done, you can go and hire the second person. But you didn't do that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, you didn't. And because you didn't, judgment for the defendant.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
You're my brother, and next time I hire you, I'll make sure I give you more than enough time to get the plumbing job done.
If I decide to come back for work for you, I'll make sure I give you a good estimate so I can get it done right.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.